we will begin tonight in a seated position. So coming to the center of your yoga space, you can sit cross-legged or in a kneeling position. You can sit onto a blanket if you want to raise the hips slightly, resting the hands on your knees. Start to close your eyes. Grounding down into your sit bones. Every inhale, try to lengthen a little taller through the crown of your head. And on every exhale, think about releasing stress, releasing tension. Begin to connect your body and your mind, deepening your breathing. Let's take a couple cleansing breaths together. So we'll take an inhale through the nose and exhale out the mouth first. Exhale out any stale air. Deep, full inhale through the nose. Feel the ribs expand. Exhale, let it go out the mouth. Let's do another one. Big, full inhale through the nose. Exhale, release it out your mouth. And then seal your lips, breathing in and out through your nose for the rest of class. If your eyes are closed, slowly start to flutter them open and make your way into child's pose. So pressing onto your hands and your knees, and then separate your knees as wide as you'd like, bringing your big toes to touch behind you, sitting onto the heels, and then start to walk the hands forward. Since this is a deeper stretch class, you can let this be a little bit more passive. So rather than like really reaching through the fingertips, you can ground down into the forearms. Whatever you choose, really let the chest be heavy. Maybe your forehead touches the floor. You're always welcome to add a block or a pillow or blanket under the chest. Continue to find your breathing here. Notice how your body feels today. See if you can find some softness, some release. Walk your right hand to the corner of your mat and then walk your left hand over to meet it, maybe stacking the left palm on top of the right. Feeling the side body stretch. Continue to press back and towards the heels. Walking the hands through center and then over to the left. So left palm either on the corner of the mat or off your mat. Right hand can rest on top. Soften the upper body. Sit back towards the heels. And then walk both hands back through center, reaching your forehead towards the floor. Option to press down into the elbows. Bring the palms together in a prayer position, and then bring the thumbs towards the back of the neck. You can walk the elbows closer together. So instead of the palms pressing down, the back of the triceps, the elbows. And if the arms are bent, straighten them out, press the palms flat. Next inhale, look up towards the hands and then shift your way into a tabletop position. So hands underneath the shoulders, hips over the knees, look down between the thumbs. Inhale, lower the belly button towards the floor. Lift the heart, lift the gaze up. Exhale, chin to chest. Pull your navel towards your spine, round your back. Inhale, arch the back. Broaden the collarbones. Exhale, round it out. Inhale, lower the belly. Lift the gaze, lift the tailbone. Exhale, chin to chest. Puff up the back. One more time. Inhale, lower the belly, lift the heart. Exhale, round the spine, press the knees down, press the palms of the hands towards the floor. And then come back to a flat, neutral spine. Take a moment to rock the hips to the right, rock them to the left. Getting out any creaks, starting to open up the hips. Coming back to a still tabletop for a wrist stretch. So we'll flip the fingers around. So the fingers are pointing back towards the knees. You can do one at a time, or if you have really flexible wrists, you can do both. Start to press the palm of the right hand towards the floor. Then you can play around with shifting your weight forwards and back. Just giving our wrists a little bit of love. And if you're doing one at a time, carefully flip the right hand back down, fingers point forward, and then press the heel of the hand of the other hand forward, fingers back towards the knees. And once again, you can shift around the weight. Just being really careful and gentle here. Flip the other palm around. This time point both hands out to the side. So middle fingers pointing to the edge of the mat, heels of the hands into the floor. And then we'll just rock from side to side. So stretching out the wrist just a little bit more. Keeping the hips over the knees, shoulders tracing over the wrist joints. And then find some stillness. Bring the fingers to point forwards. We're going to keep the hips where they are, moving into a puppy pose. So we're going to walk the hands out one hand at a time, reaching the chest towards the floor. So fingers are towards the top of your mat. Big shoulder opener, keeping your gaze down. Or if you're very flexible, you can lift the head, resting the chin on the floor. Trying to make sure the hips stay stacked over the knees. Breathing deeply. You can hold right here, or you can press down into the left palm, lift up slightly, and thread the right arm underneath the left. So the back of the right shoulder comes towards the floor. Maybe the side of the head rests on the mat. For a shoulder stretch, keeping the hips where they are. And just breathe. Carefully coming out, pressing into the left hand. Unwind your right arm, press it flat towards the front of your mat, and then thread the left arm underneath the right. Maybe resting the side of the head down. Left palm faces up towards the ceiling. Feeling the twist, feeling the opening in the shoulder. Nice and controlled. Come back to puppy pose. Reach both arms forward. And then press the forearms into the floor as you lower your hips and your belly down towards the mat. So you might need to shimmy your hips, extend the feet back behind you and tuck the toes. Line up the elbows directly underneath the shoulders. Separate your fingers wide, press the palms down. For Sphinx pose, so relax the glutes, relax the legs, gentle back bend. Reconnect with your breathing. On your next inhale, keep your body where it is. Just turn your head over to the right for a little neck stretch. Carefully come back to center. Look over the left shoulder. Keep the chest lifted. Keep the body relaxed. Bring the head back through center. Carefully lower the chest to the floor. Bring the fingertips underneath the shoulders. Tuck your back toes under. Make your way into tabletop and then downward facing dog. So fingers separate wide. Start to shift the hips up and back, straightening out your legs as much as you can. Feet are about hip width distance. You're welcome to bend one leg, bend the other. You really want a long, straight, strong spine. So if that means you need to bend the knees or widen your stance, you are always welcome to. Looking back between your legs. If you're walking your dog, find some stillness. Bring your feet about hip width distance. Inhale, reach your right leg up towards the ceiling for a three-legged dog. And then bend your knee so the heel of the right foot comes towards the glute, opening up the hip so the right kneecap is pointing towards the ceiling, and then roll out your ankle. Couple ways to the right, and then switch directions to the left, trying to keep your shoulders square. Continuing to lift that right leg up towards the ceiling, straightening out the right leg, square the hips down to face the floor. Bend the knee and step it to the top of your mat. So you can use your hand to get your foot underneath your knee, keeping your left leg straight, high on your back toes, hands on opposite sides of your foot. Let the hips fall towards the floor. Take an inhale, press into the right heel, start to straighten out the front leg for an extended triangle. And then exhale, bend the knee, sink the hips low, coming back into that low lunge. Inhale, straighten the front leg. Exhale, bend the front knee, lower the hips. One more time, straightening out the front leg. Exhale, bend the knee, holding here. Option to come down onto that left knee, untucking the back toes. Heel toe the right foot to the outer right corner of your mat, so both hands are in front of your chest for a lizard stretch. You can stay on your hands, your finger pads. Maybe come down onto your forearms if your flexibility allows. Wherever you are, reconnect with your breath. It's a really big hip opener. So being patient and gentle. You're down on your forearms, press back up onto your hands. And then everybody press onto the knife blade side of it, so opening out that right hip. So the right knee goes out to the side, right hand can be on that inner thigh, pressing the knee open. And if you'd like, you can bend your left knee for a hamstring stretch, reaching that right hand back towards the foot. If it doesn't quite grab it, that's totally fine. Keeping the right leg open, lifting the chest. And if you're grabbing the back foot, carefully release it. Spin the right foot flat and then heel toe it back underneath your body. Tuck your left toes under, straighten it out to that low lunge. Press into the palms, downward facing dog. Walk out your dog, left and right. Finding some stillness, and then walk your hands to the back of your yoga mat. So feet stay hip width distance, pointed forward. Take a big bend in the knees so the chest can rest on the thighs. Reaching for opposite elbows, ragdoll. Let your upper body be completely soft and relaxed. You can start to sway side to side. Shake your head yes a few times. Give it a shake no. Unclench your jaw. Keep your hips lifted up. Release the fingertips down towards the floor. Take a generous bend into the right knee. Right hand stays on the mat, or you can rest the forearm on the right thigh for a twist. So left arm reaches up towards the ceiling. Gaze can go up, or you can keep it down if that's too much on the neck. Maybe roll out the wrists a couple of times. And then on your next exhale, forward fold, let it go. Taking a big bend with the left leg, left fingertips press onto the floor, or resting the forearm on the left leg. Inhale, reaches the right arm up. Once again, rolling out your wrists if you did so on the other side. And on your next exhale, forward fold, let it go. Walk your hands back out into that downward facing dog. Reach the hips up and back. And then inhale, left leg extends up for a three-legged dog. Bend the knee so the heel comes towards the glute. Open up the hip. And then roll out the ankle. So left kneecap is reaching towards the ceiling. Take an inhale for a three-legged dog. Square your hips down. And then on your exhale, shift the weight forward. Step the left foot towards the top of your mat. Coming into that low lunge. So hands on opposite sides of the foot. Left ankle underneath the knee. Back leg is as straight as you can. Take an inhale, press the hips up and back, straighten out the left leg. Exhale, bend the left knee, come back into the lunge. Inhale, lift the hips, straighten the front leg. Exhale, bend the knee. Inhale, lift it up, last time. Exhale, bend your left knee, hips sink low. You can bring your right knee carefully to the floor and tuck your back toes, heel toe the left foot out to the corner of your mat, making our way into lizard. So once again, you can stay on your palms or your fingers or come down onto the forearms. Just going where your body feels its best tonight. Never trying to force anything. Always trying to find ease. And if you're all the way down onto your forearms, make your way back onto your palms. And once again, we'll take that slightly different variation. So left knee opens out to the side, left foot reaches up so the knife blade is pressing down into the floor. Maybe looking over your left shoulder, using your hand to help open that left hip. And if you like to add the hamstring stretch, you can bend the right knee, reaching your left arm back behind you. Maybe reaching for the ankle or the toes. And if you have that bind, carefully releasing, heel-toeing the left foot back underneath the chest. Press both hands into the mat, straighten out your right leg, press back to downward facing dog. On your next inhale, come down to tabletop, and then extend both legs out in front of you. So making your way onto your glutes, moving any flesh from underneath your sit bones, or if you'd like to put a blanket underneath you for a little lift, you're welcome to. Take an inhale, reach the arms overhead. Exhale, forward fold, reaching for the feet, the ankles, or the calves. Let the upper body be heavy. Let the breath be soft. Every inhale, think about lengthening through the crown of the head. And every exhale, folding deeper. Try to relax the legs here, relax the face. Inhale, lengthens the spine. Exhale, fold. Taking one more deep breath here. So inhale, lengthen. And exhale, fold a little bit deeper. Slowly lifting your upper body back up, bending your knees, bringing your glutes to the center of your space, feet flat to the floor. Take an inhale, reach both arms forward. And on your exhale, slowly lower down, one vertebrae at a time. When the shoulder blades hit the mat, walk your heels closer towards your glutes for bridge. So your fingertips should just barely graze the back of your heels. Toes point forward, feet hip width distance. Press your palms flat into the floor. And on your inhale, press into your heels, lifting your hips up towards the ceiling. Trying to press the tops of the thighs up. You can stay right here, or you can roll onto either shoulder, interlacing all 10 fingers below your back. To get a little bit extra back bend, really press the hip bones up. Open the chest. Keeping the knees right over the ankles, and if you have the arm bind, carefully release. And then lower your glutes to the mat, one vertebrae at a time, nice and controlled. Let your spine come to a neutral position. Keep your gaze soft on the ceiling. And then bring the soles of the feet together. Let the knees fall out open. Hands can rest down by your sides, palms up. Or you can reach your arms overhead, stacking one palm on top of the other so your body is kind of in a figure 8 shape, getting a little bit of a chest opener. See if you can slow your breath down even more. Notice where you might still be holding some tension. See if you can find some stillness, find some space. If your arms are overhead, bring them back down towards your sides, outside of the thighs, and then use them to close the knees together. Bend both knees towards the chest, give everything a squeeze. A little rock from side to side. And then bring your right foot flat to the floor, bending the knee, cross your left leg over your right. So the left ankle is on top of the right knee, left knee wide. For pigeon, you can stay right here or float the right leg up, interlacing all 10 fingers either behind the hamstring of the right leg or on top of the shin. You can use your left elbow to help prop the left leg open, feeling the stretch in the left hip. And carefully bring the right foot down to the floor, uncross the left leg, and then lift the right leg up and over, crossing the right ankle on top of the left knee, right knee out wide, maybe floating that left leg up, interlacing all 10 fingers behind the left hamstring or on top of the left shin. Once again, opening your hips. Quieting the mind, slowing down your breathing. Gently bring your left leg down to the floor, uncross the right leg. Once again, bend both knees towards the chest, reach for opposite elbows, give everything a quick squeeze. Keeping the right leg pulled in towards the chest, extend the left leg long, flex both feet, let the left heel rest on the floor, and then bring your right leg over to the left side for a twist. Right arm can extend out to a T. Left hand can help guide that right leg over to the side. Making sure your shoulders are pressed into the floor. If the right one starts to lift, that's just a sign to back off of the twist. Take an inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, twist a little deeper. Making your way onto your back. Switching sides, so left leg pulls in towards the chest, right leg reaches out long. Flex both feet, pull that left leg towards the arm. And then use the right hand to guide the left knee over to the right. Left arm can extend out to the side, looking up or looking off towards your left fingertips. Take one last deep inhale. Exhale, twist. Unwinding, coming back onto the back. Bring the knees towards the chest one last time, separating the knees outside of the ribs for either a modified happy baby or feet towards the ceiling, reaching for the outside edges of the feet for a full happy baby. Maybe rocking side to side, straightening out a leg, straightening out the other leg, pressing the spine flat. And if you're rocking, come back to center. Bring the feet together, bring the knees together, give everything one last final squeeze. Next exhale, open out for Shavasana. Extending the legs out long, palms facing up, toes flaring out. Rolling the shoulders away from the ears. Taking a moment to get out any final fidgets or movement. And then give yourself permission to fully and completely relax. And you're welcome to stay lying in Shavasana as long as you'd like. To reawaken your body, start to wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes. Roll out your wrists and roll out your ankles. Let your head rock from side to side. Bring your feet to touch, reach your arms overhead, point the toes forward. Exhale, knees towards the chest. Option to roll over to the right or your left side, pausing in fetal pose for a moment. And then pressing your way up to a seat the same way that we started. Sitting tall, closing the eyes once again, grounding down, lift the chest. Just noticing how you feel. We'll end with one cleansing breath. So exhale out any stale air. Big inhale through the nose. Exhale out the mouth. Inhale, hands to heart center. Press the thumbs against the sternum. Gently bow your head forward. And ending your practice with a moment of gratitude for yourself. Thanks for practicing. Namaste.